Chiefs Kingdom, we're back in the thick of it. After the bye week and that tough loss to the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs hit the road for a massive divisional battle. Week 11 versus the Denver Broncos at Empower Field at Mile High. This one matters. It's not just about one win, it's about reclaiming control of the AFC West, getting momentum back, and telling the rest of the league we're still the team to beat. Today, we'll break down what to look for, matchups that'll decide the game, injury and roster updates you need to know, exactly what Kansas City must do to come out on top. So let's dive in. First, a quick look at our roster because availability is going to matter in this one. On the Chiefs injury update front, Isaiah Pacheco, he did not practice for a second straight day due to that knee injury. So this strongly suggests that he may be unavailable or extremely limited come Sunday. And if that's the case, my personal preference is that he sits out another week, not take any risk, and just continue to recover. Now, George Karlaftis was limited on Thursday's practice due to that thumb injury. He leads the team in sacks, and any limitation on his part is a little bit concerning. Xavier Worthy and this ankle injury popped up on the injury report today. Practice in a limited capacity, so logging time is good, but the ankle injuries can flare up. So we'll need to keep an eye on this one. Josh Simmons, he is back. He's back at it after a leave of absence due to personal reasons. So this is positive that he's back, but his game readiness is still in question. The good news is that Trey Smith and Jawan Taylor both practiced fully today, as did other key players such as Charles Omenihu and Jaden Hicks. So for Kansas City, some key questions heading into the matchup still revolve around Pacheco's status, Karlaftis' mobility, Worthy's availability, and Simmons' role in all of this. Now, on the Broncos side, they've got some notables as well. Running back J.K. Dobbins did not practice due to a foot injury, and this is a major blow given his production this season thus far. Pat Surtain II, PS2, he did not practice, losing a key corners pretty significant to this Broncos defense. And then their wide receiver Trent Sherfield, with the toe injury, he returned as a full participant after missing practice on Wednesday. So this is good news for Denver. So while the Broncos appear healthier overall, they aren't without notable concerns, especially with Dobbins and Surtain on the report. Now, what all of this means for Kansas City is that the Chiefs may be without our top back in Pacheco, which puts more pressure on the run game and the offensive line. Now, if Karlaftis and Simmons are limited, protecting Mahomes becomes even more critical in this game. However, on the flip side, Denver missing some key pieces. If the Chiefs can exploit those key pieces being gone, missing, it becomes a really big opportunity for us. Now, here's why this game is huge. The Broncos currently sit at 8-2, leading the AFC West and riding a winning streak. The Chiefs, on the other side, are 5-4 after our bye week. We're in the hunt, but it's not comfortably in the hunt. You know what I mean? Now, division games like this carry double value. Win and you lose and you close the gap. Lose and you let a rival pull ahead, and we can't afford to do that. We don't have any room for error. Now, since the Chiefs have dominated the West for years, losing control here would send a message. According to odds, Kansas City opened as a 3.5-point favorite. Interestingly enough, despite being on the road and despite being 5-4 to the Denver Broncos 8-2. Now, this isn't just week 11. It's a test of identity for our Chiefs. Can we reset after the bye and reassert ourselves in the playoff picture here? Let's get into what matchups I'll be watching closely. The Chiefs offensive line and run game versus the Broncos front seven. With Pacheco uncertain, the run game might lean to backups. Or are we going to see Clyde Edwards-Helaire again? Or shall we have a look at Elijah Mitchell? I'd like to have a look at Elijah Mitchell. Okay, so no offense, Clyde. You got some playtime in against the Buffalo Bills, but we have Elijah Mitchell on our roster for a reason. Let's see him. And with Denver's pass rush presenting a real threat, they had six sacks. They had 6 sacks just last week. So we got to find a way to look out for Mahomes and to keep him upright. So that Chiefs offensive line, the run game versus that Broncos front seven, I will be watching very closely. I'll also be watching Patrick Mahomes and the receivers versus that Denver cornerback depth. They might be without PS2, but Mahomes must be clean, protective, and decisive in this game. We've got to use our weapons like Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. All of our options have to make plays in this game. Denver's secondary has been pretty solid, but Kansas City has firepower. So we got to exploit the matchups in this game. Now, Chiefs defense versus the Broncos offense and their tempo. I'm going to be watching for that as Kansas City starters need to show up. So, Chris Jones, I'm looking at you. Karlaftis, I hope your thumb is okay and you're ready to hop into this. Nick Bolton, my fellow Mizzou Tiger, let's get after it. Trent McDuffie, let's get another INT this game, shall we? All right, y'all. And then special teams, field position, third down efficiency is also going to be something I'll be looking at. So at Mile High altitude, field position matters more than usual. I live at altitude. I understand what this can do. So field position, keep that in mind, boys. Kansas City must win third down conversions. We struggled with this earlier in the season. We have to win the third down conversions from here on out. We have to avoid the giveaways and we have to ensure discipline in order to have things go our way. Now, here are some stats and trends worth dropping for this week. Head to head, the Chiefs are 17-2 against the Broncos over the last 19 games. So Broncos are 6-1 ATS in their last 7 versus the Chiefs. So that's the ATS trend there. Now the odds, even though the Chiefs have opened as a favorite, despite being on the road, that's kind of crazy. But the Broncos have a home winning streak currently. They've won 10 straight home games heading into this matchup against the Chiefs. Chiefs, though, are coming off a bye week. And coming off a bye week historically helps us, but execution absolutely matters. Now, then there's the injury drain, right? So we have key pieces like Pacheco, who could possibly be out. So that could drop our rushing yards per game. So hoping that that's not the case, but you never know because he's quite the workhorse there. Now, what the Chiefs must do to win in this game, y'all. This is the actionable blueprint. Take notes. Win up front. We have to protect Patrick Mahomes. We have to open the lanes for the run. We have to avoid early sacks. We've also got to convert early third downs. Keep the drives alive and avoid running out of steam. Got to see it all the way through. We also need to force the Broncos into uncomfortable positions. Turnovers, red zone stops, making Denver grind for every single point and not very many points. Be physical and fast at altitude. The team that imposes tempo and sustains its effort wins. And Denver's very accustomed to this. So Kansas City, we got a lot of work to do here today. Controlling the football. Few mistakes, minimal penalties, clean execution, disciplined football. And then exploiting matchups. If Broncos secondary is giving an edge, take advantage of that edge. If Kansas City can stretch the field and stay balanced, we're walking out a Mile High with a win. So if not, it could spiral. So we need to make sure we execute all of these 5 keys to win this game. Now, my prediction for this game is a Kansas City Chiefs win, right? So I wouldn't be a Chiefs fangirl if I didn't say that. But realistically, we can do this, but we have to make sure that we execute on all phases of the game. Chiefs 30, Broncos 23 is my score prediction. I believe Kansas City's talent edge combined with a reset after the bye gives us a shot, and I'm going to give our Chiefs a slight edge. So Chiefs Kingdom, drop your predictions below. I want to know who's your breakout player in this game. What's your must-see matchup here in Week 11? So if you're locked into this team, I want y'all to hit like, subscribe, tap that bell, and let's ride. So say it with me. As always, go Chiefs.